Ooh. Well, have fun, Jet Boy. Dude, let me tell you a little tale about AOL 3.0 back in the day. It was not like, whoa, let's run it on modern Windows and see what it can do. The whole point, just to log on and hear that gay ass sound, was like, it was a 20-minute process. You either had a 14.4 modem or a 28K baud one, or maybe my sister had a 56K one. I would walk across town from down here to Scotia, go over an ocean, basically, or a little river, go into the rich suburbs of Scotia just so I can use her computer, walk home at 4 a.m., go back to the ghetto here. Dude, it was a process. The best experience you could have back then was the one I had. I would use my brother-in-law's IBM ThinkPad, like 166 or something. I don't know what it could have been. It was a Pentium 2. So it was no faster than 750 megahertz, whatever it was. But you'd have to go establish. First of all, you'd have to establish a fucking phone number, and that was harder. So most people would have to rely on their rich parents. Not me. I got the software, the computers, no problem whatsoever. I secured all that shit. I built my own shit, and then I'm just like, the hardest part was getting a fucking phone number. So it was just a number of making. You'd have to make fake phone cards, and you would have to. I forget how to do it. But you would have to set it up so that before it connected to the AOL number, it would connect to this regex thing I remember it as. And then there was like, and then finally, welcome. And you're like, oh my God. And most of the time you would have to generate a fake account to be on AOL in the first place because they kept sending you those goddamn CDs. So I wanted to make use of it. I'm like, and so I kept getting in trouble for fraud, but I would not stop doing it. My phone freaking then went electronic, and then I started. That's about the same time I dropped off. But I don't care if you had a 56K flex modem back then. It'd be like, bing, welcome. You've got mail. File's done. Then you'd be happier than a motherfucker. That's how it went in the ghetto. And then when you had to go make phone calls and you had no money, you would have to red box a telephone because they still had telephones. They had telephones on the street, not anymore, but they used to. And they used to downtown where you had to put quarters and they shut them off at 9. So you had to if you were a drug dealer, you either had to get up with the new pagers. It was a whole different thing. It wasn't let's try to run it now. It's like, yeah, you can run it. It's subordinate, it's subservient software and shit. But the whole process was then just so you can go to. What would you do? You'd go to I would go to like Green Day Online and then go look at like only the best videos and Come Dumpster and download tons of porn pics that I can amass my own collection where you didn't have to go online anymore. That's where the collector's mentality comes back in because I'm coming from the analog age. We've got the electric Jesus. That's what it was like in my day. You would save those pictures because the process of logging on and getting to the porn site was so epic. You're like, my sister's going to be home in 20 minutes. You can use this computer, but good luck getting a nut. That's what it was like. Welcome. And then get the fuck out of there. And then clearing all that shit and IMs people. Hey, Aaron, how you been? Get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? It was an epic fucking thing. And then you had to jerk your dick and keep staring at the door and being like, oh my God, is somebody going to come home? And they always do. And there's never enough time to clear up your fucking shit. That's the 90s experience. We've got the American Jesus or whatever. That's what that is, bro.